All right, so we've officially made it to this era where we are at a crossroads, kind of, with, or at least I am, with gear. Back before I started this YouTube channel, I had a kidney transplant and I couldn't pick up more than 5 pounds. And so I was like, oh, to play guitar, this is when I was still picking up my guitar, I need to have a solution for my pedal board that's not 75 pounds on a wooden Creation custom pedal board and a big old amp. Well, it wasn't even that big, but a Blues Junior is too heavy, more than 5 pounds. So that is what led me to start looking into the HX Stomp, and I'm glad I did. I love the Helix stuff, but my first questions were, will the HX Stomp do? Like, before I had one in my hand, I was asking all the forums, like, should I get the HX Stomp? Is it gonna be able to keep up and do what my other board did? And quickly after I got one, I realized, yes, it can, and it can do it maybe even better. And there's added features like snapshots and all this stuff. And then got the Pod Go and got the Helix, and I make presets for all this stuff, and I love it. Been doing it for years, but I still love pedals. I still have pedals. And if you've been watching the last couple of videos, you know I'm like on this journey where I'm trying to kind of like audition some pedals, because I want to do this like, final pedal board build, which I know it's never final, but I want to have like a professionally done pedal board and get it wired up right. That's the goal. That's what I want to do. So I'm trying to take this seriously and take my time and pick out pedals that I know I will love. And so now the flip-flop is I got used to the Helix and snapshots and coming up with different solutions, things that I use all the time. And now I'm like, can I build a pedal board that is as resourceful as the Helix? Can I mimic what I do on the Helix in the real world with all my favorite pedals? And that's what I'm still in the middle of trying to figure out. One of the things I'm spoiled doing is adding an EQ, a stereo EQ, at the end of my signal chain, just as a final, what do I want to do with it? EQ a little bit? Do I want to? A lot of times what I will do is use it as a very clean boost, so it's at the end of my chain. It's not coming before my amp sending more gain. It's just adding like 2, 3, 4, depending on what I need, dB at the end of my chain. And I usually do like a little shelf where I cut everything below 400, I cut 2 dB. Everything above 700, I'll add 2 dB or whatever I feel like I need. And it just gives a little clarity to sit on top. And I click that on, I get a couple dB of boost, I get that clarity, and it's a good solo boost. And I love that. I've been spoiled with that. I love it. I can even like change the EQ, like add a couple dB, but maybe add some bottom end if I'm finger picking in a solo type part of the song or something. So a lot of options that you can do with the Helix and snapshots and all that. How can I mimic that in the real world? Well, I would need an EQ pedal. You can get those fairly inexpensively. Here's this Sonic Cake Tone Group. It's a 10 band EQ. I think that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. And then a level. And this will do it right here. But I'm running a stereo board, so I need stereo ins and outs. Well, who makes a stereo EQ? I know of a couple, but if you've seen my channel, you know which one I decided on. I went with the BOSS EQ200. Jimmy, why'd you go with this pedal? Well, stereo ins and outs. That's for 1. 2, MIDI. It's MIDI controllable, and I want to show you with this board kind of how I'm running it, how I could run it. This isn't any final anything. I'm just testing it to see if I'm gonna love it, and guess what? I love it. So let me let you, I'm gonna plug it up and let you hear what it sounds like, see what I can do with it. So I'm plugging it up here at the end of my chain, coming straight out of the pedal board. Let me review this pedal board with you in case you didn't see any of the other videos. You should go back and watch them. They're pretty interesting, I would say. Yeah, let me show you what I got here. I'm going into the Bloom for compression, overdrive, the Metro Awestruck, Metro Organic Overdrive, love this. Tailspin, vibrato, HX1, delays, Jet Revelation for reverbs, Tone X1s stereo. These are Tone Shepherd's AC30 ProSonic, the EQ'd versions, pinstripe right there. Daiso Plus Deluxe coming out. Last thing going into here, and I'm going to control it with this new Kedem 6. I don't know how I say Kedem, I think it's Kedem. But I did a video on this, you should go check it out, how I'm using it. MIDI out 5-pin, just using a headphone stereo 1/4 inch on one end adapter. You can see right there. because I don't have a proper MIDI cable, but that's okay. MIDI travels over TRS. Power it up. And the cool thing about the BOSS stuff, I used the BOSS DD20 for years for my delays, and it's very similar. You have like your, it's on and off, and then you have your memory. You can scroll through like that. And so you have what is live there. You can kind of see your EQ curve. I just bumped it a little bit. But then you can toggle through and get different curves. And so these different curves you can, at the end of your chain, send out, and it sounds like, well, whatever it sounds like. So let's test it out. I'll be playing through my Revolta clean tone. And then I just have some different sounds dialed in. This goes to preset 3. So not really cutting anything, but I am boosting, you know, up there in the higher Ks, 1K, 2K. What's this option? I can tell that I boosted some dB with this as well. There's a little fader here on the edge. I don't know what it was set at, but I boosted some highs and some low mids. And this removes a lot of low end. Maybe I'm super wet. Oh yeah, this one is just a flat EQ with like 4 dB. So that's how I could do it, have different presets. I can hit one of these buttons and it changed multiple things on my board. That's what I'm hoping to do with this MIDI controller. And the fact that this is MIDI is just awesome. So let's hear what other sounds we could get out of it. Let's hear what each frequency does to it. Boom, this should just be flat. Turn my overdrive off. So something as low as the 30 and then like up in these high ones, you can't really tell. I've seen some people do the, what is it, the BOSS GE7 or the G7 or whatever it's called. And they'll do the Bukovac mod where the EQs are more in tune with where the guitar sits rather than just like, this could work for anything like synthesizer or whatever, that would be cool. But really anything from 120 up to the 6K is what will work for us that we want to adjust. If you wanted to sound live, like there's a real amp in the room, you could boost a lot of that bottom end, and it like you start feeling it. Already getting into a little bit of honkiness. So if we like got rid of a little bit of that and boosted the low end, and what's cool is when it being at the end, it's merely shaping tone. So you can be running a tube screamer type, and where where it kind of cuts some of that low end and adds mids, but then you could add it back at the end here, which is cool, and still retain like the tube screamery-ness of it all. Just letting you hear what some of these different EQs do. Almost sounds like a wah. Uh, 6.4K is almost getting out of the range where we can really tell there's a sizzle on top. And then with my ears, I can't hardly hear. I don't think I can hear the difference in the 12,000. Not with guitar, anyways. So yeah, let's do like an extreme mid-scoop situation, and maybe we can get some like early Metallica metal tones out of this, huh? Let's see. So without that, now that we've had all that bass information, the high end, this is gonna sound dull, but this was our clean tone to begin with. All my overdrives. And if this EQ were in front of the drives or in front of the tone X's, it would just saturate it more. But now that it's after, it's completely tone shaped. It almost makes my tone, after clicking that off, after having such that mid scoop, makes it feel like it's an AM radio, but that... fun. And it's like this is coming after the amps too. So it's like you can shape the final sound of the amp. Now, obviously this is kind of extreme, but if you wanted a little bit of a mid scoop, let's see what that would do. Just a touch. Just a touch. Let's get back to our clean tone. I don't know if that's any better, but you can do that tone shaping. This is what I tend to do. Everything below like 400 for my little boost situation, where I try to keep the amp about the same, but then just boost the top end while cutting the bottom end a little bit. See how it's like a shelf right there? I'm not even gonna change the volume. We'll just leave it there. Just cleans it up. It sounds so good. So then when you have like all your wet effects on, it's subtle, but it's there. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully it was kind of educational of how to put some pedal boards stuff together. Stay tuned as I'm working more and more on this little project, and watch all the other videos as well. Share them with those that you think would be helpful. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.